Welcome to the rapid roundup of Unit 3. Now we are going to dive into one of the most colorful, complex, and fascinating aspects of international HRM, close cross-cultural diversity. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ayyo, Anu, is this going to be another theory-heavy topic? Don't worry. This one is more like an international travel blog, I will say, but for human resource managers. So, buckle up as we are going to take a global HR tour from Japan to UK. We will even have some stopovers in China, Turkey, and even our very own India. Now, to begin with, let us get our basics right. What is cross cultural diversity? It refers to the differences in values, behaviors, communication styles, and even work ethics that exist between people from different countries as well as cultural backgrounds. Now, you might say, why should HR managers care about all this? Then I will ask, then who should care about all this? Imagine you're managing a team where one person expects to speak openly in meetings while the other waits for instructions silently. Or where praising an employee in public might boost one's morale, like in US, but in Japan it might make the employee uncomfortable. That is where cultural awareness becomes key in human resource management. Now, let us talk about two cultural giants. This is taken from Hofstede's cultural dimension model. We also have the same concept in whose model? Also, Trompenaar's model. So you can imagine how important this is. That is nothing but individualism versus collectivism. In individualistic cultures, like say US or UK, people are more about me, myself, and I. Right? It is all about self. Independence is valued and success is often defined by personal achievements. So, HR in such countries will be focusing on individual bonuses or personal recognition and performance based promotions. Whereas in collectivistic cultures like, say, China or India or even the Arab world, it is more about the concept of we. That is, we say there is no I in teamwork, right? That means we value more teamwork or harmony and group loyalty at the as the heart of the workplace. So in such countries, if the HR is operating in such countries, what should their focus be on? It should be on group rewards, consensus in the decision making, and maintaining harmony. So if you are a manager, if you are an HR manager in an MNC, in a global firm, you will have to juggle with both the styles without offending either. Correct. It is a little bit tricky, but definitely it is doable. Now let us look at some more countries in their HRM styles. You can think of this as the HRM World Tour that I promised you. Let us start with Japan. Hmm? This is like a very disciplined culture here. Lifetime employment is very common. Loyalty is everything. It is even said that in Japan, if you go and say that you're putting in a resignation, then you are obliged to say everything about where you are moving and things like that. And once you do, it is very difficult because the top managers, the managers of your existing company might call your other firm and try to sabotage that. So there is a whole business around, centering in Japan around how employees can easily navigate this issue. Yeah, that is the thing. So lifetime employment is very common. You don't you don't switch jobs, you don't hope from job to job like what we can see in India there. Promotions often come with age and seniority rather than, say, flashy KPIs. So, Japanese firms, so we can say that they focus on something called as Ringi Seido. Hmm? I think I don't know Japanese. I hope this is how it is promoted. Ringi Seido. Collective decision making. So, if you are an ambitious go getter who's used to quick rewards, then Japan is definitely going to test your patience. Hmm. Now, let us go to USA. In USA, everything screams performance, innovation, individual success. So, in such a place, HR practice has to be merit based, and the employment at will doctrine gives both employees and employers the flexibility to part ways quickly. It is kind of like canceling your Netflix subscription mid season or mid month. Okay, fine. You want to go buy. I'll not show you Netflix from now on, but don't ask me for a refund on your unused subscription money, which is one of the reasons I'm still keeping my Netflix subscription. Not just that, I'm actually thinking maybe I should stop it once, in September, once the season two of, second part of Wednesday is out, maybe I'll just, cancel my subscription. Okay, let's see. So where were we? Yeah, we were in United States, right? Now, United Kingdom. Once again, USA, it is more or less like it is might be like just put in an email, boss, I'm quitting. Bye. It's more than enough for terminating your employment there. Right. So performance appraisals, therefore, in such a very quick or dynamic environment like that, performance appraisals are very frequent and incentives are also tied to results so that the employers are not at stake here. Come now, the next stop, let us go to UK. Okay, UK has a very similar system to US when it comes to performance culture, but it has a little bit more, what you can say, emphasis on the work-life balance. British HRM blends individual rewards with a strong sense of fairness as well as legal protection. Employees expect flexible hours, respect for diversity, and lots of tea breaks. Tea and biscuits, please. Right? Okay, that was just a stereotype, but anyway. So basically, it is a blend of both individualistic as well as what you can say. mm, Not collectivism, but rather there has to be they have a very strong sense of fairness and legal protection there. Now, let us get on the plane, and the next stop is going to be Turkey. Turkey, interestingly, offers a mix of the East and the West methods. There is a respect for authority as well as structured hierarchy, but there is also an increasing focus on individual achievements. Conflict resolution in Turkey can be a little bit more direct than in India, but will not be as blunt as, say, in the US. HRM, in if you are operating in, say, Turkey, here you have to balance tradition and modernity, like learning to serve kebabs with a side of KPIs. Now, come to Middle East. Okay, here HRM is all about collectivism and respect for elders and also religious observance. Workplaces are heavily influenced by the Islamic values. There are prayer times, gender roles, and even family obligations, which are key considerations. Like during the month of Ramadan, people generally have a shorter work day. That is a norm, and it is okay also. It is accepted there. That is the culture there. So HR policies often include flexible work hours during Ramadan and respect for traditional customs. And HR professionals in that area, they will have to need not just the business skills, but they also need to have cultural empathy. Okay, so now let us come to our home turf, India. Indian HRM is a very interesting mix of collectivism, hierarchy, and some jugaad also. We love relationships, be it with colleagues, bosses, or even the HR manager. Promotions often depend on both our performance as well as interpersonal rapport. Like the other day, my friend, uh, they were doing everything, their performance, their managers had very great even the clients had very great opinion about that person, because he was doing exceptionally well in their deliverables. But when it came to the promotions, even though the manager recommended the promotion and the higher level, it got rejected. And when that person went asking why it got rejected, it was said that because if you have to get a promotion, um, you at least two level or three level above your current role, like, say, director or senior director role level, whoever is there, they should know about you. Only then you will be considered for promotion, it seems. So why is that happening? It is because of this, what you can say, this focus on interpersonal rapport. So while we are moving towards a more structured appraisal or a skill based hiring, we still value emotional intelligence and team harmony. And of course, even chai breaks, they also count as bonding time. So we were actually discussing with each other. So if this is the criteria for, I'm talking about the example I told now about my friend, right? If the criteria of promotion is not limited to how good you're performing, how good you're delivering things, or your number of years that you've put into that organization, but also uh, uh, related to how many senior managers or how many senior top management knows you. How do you get to do that? Do you have any suggestions? How can you build that network within the organization? How do you make sure that people, say, two, three, four levels above you know about you? I'm welcoming all your suggestions. Let me know in the comments. Okay, so now let's move on to our neighbor, China. Confucianism plays a big role in shaping the HR practices there. There is a deep respect for hierarchy as well as authority. The decisions are usually made top down. Employees usually avoid challenging their superiors directly. But again, like in India, China also values group achievement and long term employment. But unlike in India, where we occasionally complain about our bosses over say chai, in China, such openness is very rare. So, how do all these cultures impact HR? Quite significantly, right? Obviously, everything from recruitment and selection to performance appraisals, compensations, training, even conflict management is influenced by all these cultural aspects. Like, say, for instance, you take US. A US company might reward an individual for exceeding their sales target, whereas a Japanese firm may credit the whole team. A UK manager might give direct feedback, whereas an Indian manager might sugarcoat it a little bit. You're doing well, but I have a small suggestion, kind of a thing, right? Which really means that you need to improve. So let us not forget also, we cannot forget about the gender roles, communication styles, and even attitudes towards the time. That is basically, we are talking about the Trompena's seven dimension model here. Like, say, example, Germans, they use they are very famous for being punctual. Even Japan is famous for punctual. Have you heard that once a Japanese train was 30 seconds or so late, and the driver apologized for to everybody on train, all the passengers on train. So they are very punctual. Whereas in India, IST often means Indian stretchable time, right? So when managing multicultural teams, HR has to set clear expectations while being respectful of the differences. In conclusion, we can say cross cultural diversity is not just an HR is not just a fancy HR topic, but it is a very real world challenge that can actually make or break international business operations. And as future HR leaders, you guys will be dealing with people from various cultures, and your success will depend on how well you are going to adapt, understand, and respect all these differences. And always remember, managing people across cultures is not about finding the one best way, it is always about finding the right way for the right culture. All right. So I hope this session was engaging and it helped you in understand the concepts that are discussed in the unit. If it did, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Anu's Classroom if you haven't done it already. I will catch up. We will catch up again in the next unit's rapid roundup. Until then, take care. Happy learning.